Good morning and welcome to Headline Reviews here on Afro Connect TV. I am Godwin Sunday, and of course, this is the midweek edition of the show. I'm not doing this alone, I'm doing this with my colleagues already seated here in the studio. Of course, what we do here on the show is to pick select national dailies and make them our center of focus and ensure that we exhaust everything on the national dailies. Chinatu, good morning.
Morning, Godwin. It's
Wally.
good to be here again.
Wally, good morning.
Good morning, Godwin, and I'm happy to be here again on midweek edition of program.
As usual, salary week.
I'm sure you guys spoke about this yesterday.
Yeah.
And you're not getting enough of it until it drops into your account.
Drops, I mean, you just have to, get your hopes high.
Exactly.
Plan already in your head, like me, and now I've already done my to-dos. What am I buying? When am I going to the market?
Good.
Because, Easter is already here.
Yeah, it's around the corner.
It's here, so we have to.
Chinatu, I thought it's not for people that fast. It's okay. All right, Chinatu, what do we have for us this morning?
Okay, so we are taking it right from the Punch, where the National Communications Commission, NCC, is insisting on same NIN deadline this Friday. So the telecommunication companies will disconnect most subscribers' identity module, that's SIM numbers, not linked to the national identification numbers, on Friday, March the 29th. The Nigerian Communications Commission, the Director of Publicity at the NCC, Ruben Muka, reported via a telephone call that there would be no changes to the deadline for the next phase of disconnection. The NCC's directive for disconnection is being rolled out in stages, with the second phase set for March 29, 2024. While the third phase is going to begin on April 15, 2024. Well, I've heard a lot of people already complain that I'm very sure you've called some people, Godwin and Adewale, and then you just realize that their phone numbers are no longer going through. You just hear, oh, sorry, this subscriber has been bad. I've been in that phase trying to read. I know I was trying to read somebody yesterday, and I wouldn't think that this person has not done her registration. But sadly, the person was bad, and I could not reach out to the person, and this was for something very important. So why is this happening? The NCC is realizing that a lot of people did not initially submit their NIN to the appropriate authorities for registration. And with the issues of insecurity rising, we want to keep track of people who have numbers. Because I was already wondering, why do we have to bar numbers if we have NIN of these people, if we have the national identification numbers of subscribers? But then the spokesperson of NCC, Ruben Muka, is saying that a lot of them did not initially submit their NIN, which is a prerequisite for SIM registration. And I think in the face of insecurity, it is very important that we have these details, because we cannot go around having people that we do not know. In cases of kidnap, we want to track who has this number, who is communicating here and there. And then we can't do that. But, this is a good thing. It's bad, but no, not bad. It's a bridge. It's bringing about bridging communication, but it is a good thing because we just have to sit up and do the right thing. So I'm just urging Nigerians to generally, go do your registration, ensure that you're connected. Because imagine, I was trying to reach someone, I could not reach her. I could have been trying to give her a contract. I can't reach her.
Exactly. I think, just to start from where we should start from, there's a lot of things to unpack here. This has been in work since 2020, where the Nigerian government has said that every person with an identity, of a national identity in Nigeria, must be able to link their identity number to their SIM. And the essence of this is to ensure that we have complete data of people in the country.
Yeah.
For instance, you mentioned the cases of insecurity. We've had people that ransom were paid and communication were made before that would happen. So how about we have people being monitored? We have these numbers of people being monitored while they are doing that. And while we do not have people having their NIN or identity linked to their number, anybody could just come in and take people's number and run people's number and take it to do whatever illicit things they want to do. So let's start from that this was actually put in place to actually
curb.
This was actually put in place to achieve the purpose, which is to make sure that data in the country is safeguarded, it's in safe hands, and we have people that we know that are communicating in the country. So let's look at the process so far. The telecom communication has asked people to submit their name both online and in physical. But right now, people are being asked to go and physically register for their name. And a lot of people are saying that, okay, maybe I got this name from my, got this SIM from my parents. Maybe it was given to me from somebody. How do I make sure that my SIM is, how do I make sure that I do not lose my SIM because I'm not the owner, I didn't purchase this, and linking this with my SIM would make me, create a mismatch in the linkage there. So that's on one side. On another side, we're looking at the issue of people's rights to communication, because there's some organizations that are coming out to say that you cannot just ban people from being able to communicate, and you tell them to go and register their SIM. How about we have a national data? People are talking about the data in Nigeria. We have the BVN, we have the NIN, we have other national identity identification. How about we link all of this together to have a national board that's going to link all our data together? So from there, Nigerian government can have access to whatever they want to do. You can't tell people to register for NIN today, and then they come tomorrow, they're registering for PVC, and then the next tomorrow they are registering for that. But we have a national data, something that covers everything. It has your NIN, it has your PVC, it has your BVN, it has everything all together. You can just take one data and give it to somebody, and then they can run through it seamlessly, not having to have one data from one place to another to another. We can't deny that it's very stressful for some people. And looking at people that are even coming into the country that are not citizens of Nigeria, of course there are provisions for them. But these people could also be banned because they do not have access to their name, and they do not have access to their own national identification in their own country. So I think we need to look at this holistically. They've said they're not going to extend, but a lot of Nigerians are still pleading. Millions of Nigerians have been banned as at yesterday.
Well, this is worrisome. It is. Like you've rightly said before now, we should be looking at the major, which is trying to link up all the database that we've gotten in the country. Imagine you submitting you're submitting a name to the bank. You're going to submit your name again to telecommunication. Of course, when you want to do some online registration again, you will still require to submit the same name that you submitted.
All over.
And again, what the National Identification Management, NIMSI, have come out to say that they will, when you register, they will send you a text message to come pick up your original card from them. And almost that's another issue.
A lot of people don't even still have
we see some of us still go by the slip. We've registered for years now. We're still going with the slip. So what happens if we lose this slip? We need to start dialing numbers. There need to be a uniform system, first and foremost. Let the youth system be uniformed. I think I disagree with the timeline they are giving right now, because people in the rural communities in Nigeria, most of them don't even have access to adequate technologies. Most of them are, some people are just having access to mobile telecommunications, and you now say you want to, what about people that stay in remote areas, like in the creeks where they don't even have telecommunications? They don't even have 5G network in those places. I think we should do the major first, which is Nigeria is moving from the 4G technology to the 5G technology. So we are asking, how many communities in Nigeria are currently benefiting strongly from the 3G? Some places in Nigeria still have edge. Not just, you can't even find 3G, talk less of 4G. The world, right now we're moving straight to the 5G, that's 5 generations of the internet. I think at this point in time, we should focus on the major and leave the minor to be minors. This one right now, barring people, of course, it's top-notch security, kudos, because we're trying to build a strong country where information sharing is everybody's business, and we know who is sharing what. But then, if we know who comes into the telecommunication at a time, because if I buy a SIM card, I'm registering. Everybody that has been on the system right now, what you do is that we bring them on board, or we do a system where we say, okay, if you have a bank linkage, go to the bank, pick their phone numbers and link them up. Let NIMSI talk to the bank and let there be some form of synergy. Exactly. You know, stressing us. I don't want to go and queue up again.
I totally agree. Unified system is all we need. You don't have to keep queuing from here and then queue there. We all just need a unified system for data collection.
Exactly. I mean, it's something that's still in works. We still hope the national we still hope that the agency will look into the people's plight and understand that there's still a lot of people that still are lagging behind in getting their SIM registered or linked to their name. Millions of people have been banned, and I think that has to be taken into consideration to get things effectively. So not to worry, we have to move on to another headline this morning from the nation's newspaper. NSCDC arrest 5 at illegal oil bunkering site in Rivers State. The Nigerian Security and Civil Defense Corps (NSCDC) in Rivers State has arrested 5 suspects at illegal bunkering site in Odegwa Community Ethnic Local Government area of the state. The spokesperson Olufemi Ayodele, while parading the suspects yesterday, said the sites operated 10 refineries with about 500,000 liters of crude oil contained in 50 illegal reservoirs. He said the NSCDC would continue to fight against crude oil theft, illegal mining, illegal dealings in petroleum productions, among others. So, 10 people have been arrested yesterday for illegal bunkering, illegal mining, illegal, illegal oil bunkering in Rivers State. And we've seen so many years, even while Wike was the governor of Rivers State, we've seen him do a lot of work going into different rural areas and all those forests to fish out people that are stealing our oil, our national treasure, this is what we call our national fund. This is where we get our money from. And we have people that are doing a lot of things. And also to link this to also illegal mining in Nigeria. If we remember the story that broke in Ibadan several weeks ago about the dynamites being stored in a residential area, and we've seen the crater that was created when it was exploded, and a lot of properties were destroyed and all that. So those are the effects of it. So on one hand, let's start from, okay, these people are stealing. It is not just to do well to just arrest them and parade them and take them to court and all of that. We should be able to ask them questions, look at other collaborators that they have in these places, because Rivers State has been one state where we've had this go on for years and years. How about we have people that are going into forests to make sure that our oil pipelines and everything are secured from people that are tapping into it and refining oil in this localized way and selling it off to international companies and whatsoever. So I think it's a step in the right direction, but more has to be done to make sure that we can't even account for how many barrel of crude oil we produce in a day in Nigeria. That it's so bad to that extent that we need to look at the issue of accountability, the issue of data. We just talked about data itself. We can't even have a data for our own source of income as a country. So I think it's very worrisome that we've seen this vicious circle continue over and over again. But I think Godwin would want to...
All right, so Wale, for one, I should think at this point in time that we've tried, the government have tried as much as it can from the previous government since we got into the democratic dispensation. We've tried as much as we can to get rid of oil bunkers and bunkeries and illegal minings in the country. But then again, there's something we are not looking at as a country, and that is the fact that if these boys can refine petroleum, we call them bunkers. If they can do this at the local level, I think that at this point we should be talking about more of modular refineries. How do we make these things to become legal so that the government can tax them, put tax on them, train them, create an institution where we can absorb them into the system? Then let's get Nigerians, let's see what will come out of that process. Because if we keep going on and on saying we are pursuing illegal binding illegal refinery, illegal mining, and what have you, it has become a virtual circle. We keep going around that circle over and over, and I don't think it's going to stop in the nearest future. So what the government should be doing right now, pick these guys up, understand the way the system works, then institutionalize it. Somebody said if you want corruption to stop in Nigeria, don't try to capture or arrest corrupt politicians. Create systems that will stop corruption in itself. So when you create systems, put systems in place, automatically what you've done is that you've revolutionized the whole corruption circle, that there's no loophole for money to flow. So everybody knows that if there's money coming into the country, the money goes to Mr. A, there's a system that monitors it. So you cannot cheat that system. So if you build a system where every petrol that is generated in the country, how many barrels is produced in a day, they will say, okay, these boys are going to, they are assigned, probably this institution are assigned, these are the boys that are working legally with this institution so that we can all put this. And of course, in other countries, in other clients, what they do is when they catch people of this nature that have been able to revolutionize the system, what they do is that they learn from them. They pick them up and use them to benefit the country. We can't keep going on like this. That's my own end. So I think the government should look towards that direction.
Well, I think, China, before you have your let me just respond to that. I think the government and a lot of people would disagree with you in many ways. While I think we need to revolutionize the system and to see how we can make sure that these loopholes are not taken, we should look at the issue of the condition with which these people are refining this. So number one, we need to talk about environmental protection. There's a lot of environmental degradation, so a lot of creeks, a lot of small rivers and everything are being polluted with this illegal mining because it's not going through the system. There are a lot of things that has to put in check. We have to talk about the environment. We need to talk about air pollution. We need to talk about a lot of things. So if these things are not being put in place, we can't even. Nigeria does not even run refineries that are working.
But we have Oloibiri was polluted. Oloibiri, of course, Oloibiri was polluted.
So if we cannot even have a system that works for us as a country, as a state, how more do you think these people that are just having 2 drums or 3 drums to put fire on crude and try to produce a product out of it would be able to achieve? So I think that can be discussed, but in what way do we think can happen, and in what way do we think that is sustainable? I think it's a huge question to ask.
Yeah, so I think Godwin is coming from the angle of saying that these people who are involved in oil bunkering are handed something to do, you know, because I feel this is better from a place of joblessness and unemployment. So it tells on the government that you need to provide something for these people to do. If you have a job, why would you be going into oil bunkering? I know, yes, a lot of people will go in, but majority of those who go into this are young people who have nothing to do, so they have to rely on the easiest way out. So I like to say that if these people have skills, like Godwin had said, why are they not, you know, trained and incorporated into refineries? I mean, we don't even have a lot of them in Nigeria.
Maybe you should ask the people that are graduating in STEM, petroleum engineering and all of that, how many of them have been employed, gainfully employed in Nigeria?
Exactly. So I think it comes from a place of really unemployment. What are we doing about the unemployment of the youth? Because you can't ask these people to stop oil bunkering when you're not providing something for them to rely on. You can't take from this hand and expect to receive from this. No, something has to give. And so this is really just a way of survival for a lot of those young people. So until the government is able to say, okay, you can come and do this, then, I mean, we'll begin to see a decline in all of that.
How were they able to even get the technology to even start, even the thought of even striking? That's creativity. That's creativity.
I don't even think they use technology. Just go through very crude way.
Well, just think about it, the way they thought about it, that they can even burn these things to start. This is creativity.
Yeah, I mean, it's something that they inherited from people, that they've known.
At the end of the day, the hazard is far beyond all of this. And that's why I want the government to intervene.
They are also exposed.
Yes. I mean, the fishes in the river, the air, the breed, everything. I mean, so if the government doesn't intervene, we'll be looking at people having very short lifespan, shorter than it already is.
Exactly.
Shorter than 35.
We hope not.
All right. So let's move on to the CBN and its interest rates. As of yesterday, the Central Bank of Nigeria has increased the monetary policy rate from 22.75% to 24.75%. The monetary policy rate is a short-term, often overnight rate that banks charge one another to borrow funds. And the CBN governor said the committee also retained the cash reserve ratio that is at 45% and the liquidity rate at 30%. The meeting was the second one of the MPC in year 2024 and the 294th meeting of the MPC. Now, Wale, what's going on here is that basically the central bank meets once in a while to discuss about some of the interest rates as it's going. So some of the things that they look out for is the economy, how to better the economy, how to put monetary policy, ensure that they are able to cool inflations and also other leakages in the economy, so as to have a robust financial year. Now, looking at what we had last year, the inflation rate that we have last year. They're trying to put modalities in place to ensure that they're able to control this inflation so that Nigerian economy can be more robust, more productive, and more efficient in the long run. So yesterday when I listened to the CBN governor speak, I listened to him with keen interest because I was waiting to hear that apart from the BDCs, some of the modalities that they put together, these things are your bureau de change and other factors. I was thinking at this point the CBN governor will re-echo the fact that there is no more loose windows in the Nigerian financial environment. What I mean by loose windows is that every BDC in the country, regardless of where you operate, you are captured in a database. So that we won't have people in Balogu market, people in Waripa market and what have you. Then people are charging different rates. We need to have uniformed exchange rate. That's first. I was thinking that's the window we're going to be looking at this from. I was thinking I'm going to hear that from the central bank governor. But of course, it is what it is right now. We're moving from 20. Right now we have increased to 24.75 interest rates. Wale, I don't know what you think about this whole financial trajectory.
Well, looking at the interest rates, looking at our economy, maybe I should just start from there. Our economy is going through a lot of stress right now. The inflation is very high. It's at record high right now, and the impact on the people is enormous, and people are clamoring for action to be taken. And the CBN is doing something to say, okay, maybe we can increase the interest rates, because the interest rates itself would then influence the would influence the coming down of inflation in the country. Of course, it will have an impact on the level of inflation. How can we put it down? Also, it would encourage more people to save, because we then have more people getting into the system, into the banking system, to say, okay, I need to save my money because there's a huge return for me, interest rates as fixed deposits or savings accounts in the countries. While we have all these benefits, we cannot also deny that there are some challenges with it. Our stock exchange is also very important. We also risk going into recession if this is extended for too long. So I think we need to create a balance out of it. In as much as we want to raise this interest rate, it's a sign of a distressing economy if you keep raising the interest rate, raising and raising over the years, and seeing where it is right now. The percentage that we're seeing right now is something that I think can actually go down, because when it goes down, it talks about us as an economy where we are stable, but also it gives opportunity for people to do business in Nigeria, for foreign investors to understand that when they come into the country, there's actually a huge return for them to do the business. But also, we are a country heavily dependent on importation, and we export fewer products, especially our main product is crude oil. So it also affects the import-export balance. So we need to look at that. I know the government, the CBN, of course, is doing a lot to caution that, and make sure that there's a balance to this system that we are running, the monetary policy that they've been able to bring out. But I think it's something that we hope will get better with time.
You know, we keep saying we hope we get better with time, and then I just want to ask,
what can we do beyond hope?
When, Wale, when does it this whole circle, when does it end? Because we're looking to attract investors. Yeah. But if we keep raising the interest rate every time, don't we think that it will get to a point where we chase investors by our own hands?
Because they won't be able to tell when it's going to fall.
I'm telling you.
They might have a free fall, and they wouldn't know.
Then you can't even control it. So it's really just about balance, like Wale has said. If we are going to put things in perspective, let us do so, and ensure that this economy that's already shaky doesn't shake more than it is.
It did not shake. All
right. So we're taking out to this day where the National Security Advisor has confirmed the escape from lawful custody of a detained executive of Binance, Nadeem Anjarwalla, a suspect in the ongoing criminal probe into the activities of Binance, a cryptocurrency organization. In a statement, it was reported that preliminary investigation showed that Mr. Anjarwalla fled Nigeria using a smuggled passport. Again, Wale, again, Godwin. I mean, if people can come in and go easily. This person was detained, in February. He was detained. And then over the fact that Binance has not been legally listed in Nigeria as a proper trading platform for Nigerians to, have access to. and we've enlisted this person as a suspect. Why was our eyes not on them to the point where they had to escape? Not only did they escape with a smuggled passport. So it says a lot about our security again. It says a lot to us as a people. Is it fair to have people just come in, do what they need to do, and then just go away? They cross the borders, they do whatever they want to do. How many more smuggled passports will people have to use and escape before we realize that a lot is happening? But then this is Binance, right? And we won't disagree with the fact that a lot of Nigerians are into digital currency and already capitalizing on the platform. But I'm worried about the fact that I know the federal government is saying that we do not have accurate data. We cannot control what's happening on these platforms. But I'm worried. If nothing illegal is happening, it's money you can't control. If nothing illegal is happening, why are they having to stop people? I mean, this sends a message of the fact that, okay, we can't control this, so what do we do? But then again, if our young people are using this platform to do something, shouldn't we have a way of, I don't know how to put this, Wale and Godwin, but I feel like we should have a way of working with these young people to see that, is this just a platform to trade illegally? Or is that something that we can work with to make our economy better? Because either ways, I don't think that this platform will operate in other countries. And things are going well. So why are we having problem with it in Nigeria?
Yeah.
Well, Chinatu, for one, I should think at this point in time, heads should have started rolling at this point in time. Heads should have started, we should have started hearing that people have been, that security agents are already being arrested.
Yeah, they are.
We should be hearing this. These are things that should be breaking the news. That everybody in the immigration office that is responsible for passports for migrants, whether illegal passports, whether it was gotten through whatever means, we should have been hearing at this point in time that everybody in the immigration office in charge of passports are being sanctioned or something is going on. Then we should now look at it. Which security agencies was he detained with? Then if he was released or he was smuggled out of the country or he escaped out of detention, we should now be asking, did he go through the roads? Did he go through the air? Did he go through the bushes? Did he go through the waters? There are questions they're begging for answers as it stands right now. And of course, Nigerians are looking at this is not going to be a situation where we're going to sweep it under the carpet. Of course, if a Nigerian commits an offense or is being suspected to
Anywhere
in the world,
we know what
you know what it means. Sometimes as a Nigerian, you get to other countries and your passport is being double checked.
Triple checked.
No, it's been double checked.
Yeah.
So these are situations we need to start looking at. If a suspect in Nigeria that is being detained and the person was able to flee detention and the NSA has come out to say, okay, this is correct, he has left. I think the NSA should also address Nigerians on the importance of sanctions that have been melted on whoever or whichever organization that was responsible for this. I think we need to see the faster we see this, the more robust it will be for to reimpose our confidence on a lot of what we do in the country.
Not picking words from your mouth, Godwin, sorry. But the Federal High Court in Abuja, right, said that the Binance is evading tax, one, and then have refused to provide data to Economics and Financial Crimes Commission, that's the EFCC. And so this is part of why they were arrested, the executive were arrested. And so if this kind of people were arrested, you're refusing us to do things right in our country. We have a procedure and you're refusing to follow it. And then we're that callous to allow them escape.
I think it's a question that we also have to, Nigerians are asking a lot of questions because let's even start from the issue of cryptocurrency first. Cryptocurrency is banned in Nigeria because it's form of financial transacting system that cannot be monitored by the Central Bank of Nigeria. It's an independent, secured platform where people trade independent of government intervention in the country. And Binance is offering the services for many people, especially many people in Africa, especially most Nigerians. And how this happened when they came into Nigeria, they were asked to come into Nigeria for questioning because they're not they're not registered in Nigeria at all as a trading company. So they were asked to come into the country for questioning. They were held back without any charges being levied against them. Then over time, the investigation that they were able to carry out, then they didn't bring charges against them to the court. And according to report, he was taken to a Friday prayer on in a mosque, and from there he escaped. And I think it says something of us. I remember it was at this table we were talking about Nnamdi Kanu that said he wants to be taken away from the DSS office to Kuje prison. So now we have the Office of the National Security Advisor holding this person in custody, and this person can still slip away from these people. I think it still says something about the insecurity issue we're talking about in the country. And also looking at the statements made by the CBN governor, he said that over 26 billion has passed through to Binance over a year. $26 billion in a year was transacted from Nigeria through Binance, through Binance trading platform, or whatever it is they call themselves. So if we know that these people are not registered in Nigeria, we've called them into the country, we're conducting an investigation, we're trying to sue them into court to have this legal proceeding to make sure that they have tax returns to Nigeria, and we're able to go through their data and solve all of that. We've not even taken them to court. We've not even achieved everything that we want to achieve, and we're having them escape.
Is the escape for me? What is the escape?
We're having them escape. Where do we begin to have this conversation from? A whole country as Nigeria is having people being escaped. Just 2 people, and one of them has escaped because he has gone to the mosque to pray. I mean, there's a freedom of... He's been restricted. Of course, his movement is being restricted, and he has some security people going around with him for whatever he wants to do. Are we going to say there was a relaxed insecurity around him? Is that the conversation we want to have? And looking at the issue of cryptocurrency itself, if you say we want to ban cryptocurrency in the country, why are you calling them to have tax returns for the country for over the years? So I think there's a lot of conversation we need to have. There are a lot of countries that are accepting cryptocurrency, regulating it, seeing what they can do. I think this is a system where there's no country in the world, even as sophisticated as the United is, as sophisticated as China is, they still haven't been able to stop people from using this system to trade. It's a system that has come to stay. How can we make sure that we, in as much as we do not want to legalize it, can we make sure that we have laws that are guiding people trading through the system? Because no matter how we want to slice or dice it, this is a system that will continue to exist.
Wale, I wish we can go on with the conversation, but right now they're tickling. The time is fast. It's tickling because a lot of things we want to raise. There are a lot of dust we want to raise from these conversations, but then time is fast spent at the moment. I want to say thank you, Wale, and Chinatu.
Thank you so much, Godwin.
This is 26 billion you called. I'm still thinking about it. Well, viewers, this is how far we can go today on the headline reviews. I want to say thank you so much for being a part of the show. Please do well to follow us on all our social media displayed on the screen right now. Till we come your way again, same time, same station tomorrow. I remain Godwin Sunday. It's bye for now.